So maybe even just to recap a little bit, we're talking about the consequences for losing and winning, that they are mechanical, they are permanent, that the hope is that that will lead to enthusiastic hero point spending when people care about it more. When they care about it less, or when they're willing to let whatever is lost be hammered mechanically, then they will not spend the hero points as much. Um, so, in many ways, the hope is that people are aiming contests at things people care about as well. So, you have people aiming contests at abilities that people care about. You have the decision whether you care about it enough to really fight for it with hero points.
We. Oh no, sorry, ignore me.
Mhm.
I was going to say we can't actually target abilities, can we?
Well, yeah, you can. And that's what we're talking about. We talked about this last time, that when we've changed every time we've played. So I can,
Right.
if you say, but we didn't do that, I say, I know. Um, so at present, for better or for
Hmm.
worse, at present, when it's your turn to go after somebody, you look at their sheet. Well, first you say, what are you doing? And so now you have they've set the scene, they've framed themselves, they're busy doing something. And you have some very interesting choices at that point. But to abstract it, you will pick an ability to target.
Hmm.
You will pick the ability that's attacking it, which could either be something else on their own sheet or even the same thing on its own sheet to get weird. But you will pick an ability to attack it from somewhere,
Hmm.
either right there in their own situation because it seems really, 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 really obvious, or something from what just happened, no matter how crazy you have to be to justify it. Um,
Hmm.
so you've got an ability of theirs that you're attacking. You've
Oh yeah,
got
yeah.
an ability of theirs that you're using, or ability of somewhere that they're using to attack. And you've got the ability that they've announced, but that may or may not be either of those. That's
That was
just
the bit I was
floating
forgetting.
there. Yeah. And then finally, there's the ability that they choose to defend. So the hilarious thing is that all of those could be the same ability, conceivably, or they could all be four completely different abilities, depending on how you want to set that up. Now, the one that matters is the attacking one versus the target one. That's where you look at the triangle.
What we've been doing so far is the attacking ability has been a bit nebulous because we've had three different types of situation. Their sheet attacking them, the
Right,
character that's the current
right.
co-GM choosing to attack them, and picking another ability from another player entirely unrelated to attack them.
Correct. But
Hmm.
when we say unrelated, we are in those cases we're talking about using the previous scene as the guide.
Oh yeah, there's still
Right.
this. It's
Yeah.
situationally coherent. Yeah.
Right. But yes, that's true. And so that means that in many ways you could almost imagine like a star chart of all four character sheets set up on the wall.
Hmm.
And each time you're drawing, the arrows of the ability. Sometimes it's just the ability attacking itself. Other times it's crossing, the whole sheets. Um, and that's fine by me. I kind of like it. It's insane, but it's, I think, kind of fun. The thing that you emailed me about, Alex, I
Yeah.
completely agree with you. So, Ahel, you need to be brought up to hear about this. To hear about this, we're talking about an instance in the last session when the person who was attacking Alex's character
Hmm.
said, well, used his own fly through space ability to be the attacker,
Yeah,
and to do that,
probably.
yeah,
Yeah, it probably was me. Yeah.
yeah, but I can't remember who. But to do that had to narrate that his character was flying through space or had a motivation to fly through space.
Mm.
And at the time, I was. We'll have to review. We'll have to review the tapes, gentlemen. But the at the time, I kind of felt jarred because it felt like it was reaching into the character's head and actions too much.
Yeah, I am.
But also, as I recall, it wasn't too crazy because I think the character was flying through space anyway.
Yeah.
The question was whether he flew through space away from
Yeah.
his current stated goal. And that I think was so we're taught that was sort of a conceptual shift in the nature of attacking that we hadn't done before. So we need to kind of
Yeah.
reflect on whether and how that's okay
Yeah.
or if it's not. So, these are all very arrogant characters in their own ways. Even the
Mm.
even the humblest character, even if you made the most humble, self-effacing, helpful, peaceful, completely non-aggressive character in this game, they're still pretty arrogant. So there's a kind of a thematic reason not to let other players ever touch what your character genuinely wants to do.
Sure.
But
Yeah, I
it's
think
tricky because you do reach into their heads for their doubts. If you have an explicit doubt on the page, it's there for that purpose. Then another player can come in and say, aha, your doubt is, or your disenchantment or whatever.
Yeah, in that case, I think I did kind of cross that line because I took that power that is like, oh, flying through space. That's a pretty straightforward thing. And I say, oh, this is an expression of their inner self running away.
I completely get that. Yeah, it's tricky. I think what we're going to have to do is look for things on the sheets that are very explicitly inner conflict for that purpose. So it's it's kind of an interesting question.
I mean, we could go with the.
I'm really looking forward to the idea if we, depending on how long we play, but hypothetically, what if every player just went after that disenchantment ability, seeking to batter it down, batter it down, batter it down. So his disenchantment became very pathetic. So the idea being that he would not be able to use his disenchantment effectively very much. So technically speaking, his character is getting over it.
Yeah, and that's the interesting part because
still messing with motivation a little bit.
Yeah, because with disenchantment you can try to make it external, but really it's an internal thing, and you have to tell them to the other player, like, yeah, your character is going through some shit, and he's not in that confident or whatever.
But he's the one who put it on the sheet, remember? So I think it's kind of like he's already agreed to that kind of tweaking.
Well, I think the line should be the specific intent. So you could say to me, I'm full of self-doubt. How I then deal with that.
Sure.
Right, but there's no action associated with it.
Yeah.
The conflict is, internal. The conflict is a big thought balloon.
Yeah.
Right. Rather than the character literally saying, oh, here's what it is. It's not Polaris. You're not saying, if I win, your character does this thing.
Yeah.
Right. You're not saying that. So, yeah, and the role of the GM in this regard is interesting. I'm going to retain and I have been. I'm going to retain the Hero Quest role. They call it the narrator.
Mm-hmm.
Then the GM has narration authority in my scheme. And so that means that they really get to interpret the outcome of the conflict given the constraints of the dice. And so since the GM always gets to do that, and the GM has no character. I like that. The GM has no character. That's a pun in English. The sense is that you can really push hard in your conflict creation, in your making the contests happen, but the GM kind of always makes sure that boundary is going to be honored, especially when all is said and done. Especially when, so the player can rest easy. There's nobody can make your character do or want something that you haven't, said. So they can stop you and hurt you. So that's kind of what I had in mind.
Sure.
Now, one of the interesting things from last time, just to stick with story stuff for the moment. 2 sessions ago, Diamonds had decided that Demetrius was a threat.
Did she? Huh.
I think that the idea, the wielder of the spark of creation, she said yes, she wants your energy for her, and that she wants Zebediah and her to be, the god and goddess, not you. You are a convenient source of fuel. And we didn't work with that too much in the last session. That was 2 sessions ago, but I don't think that your characters came into direct interaction much last time. So,
no, last session my character was like
right,
completely separate.
So I wanted to make sure that we didn't forget that particular thing. That was the outcome of the child of Chin Lao problem, right? Because
I directly oppose her. Yeah,
that's right. Because you switched sides, you were going to try to stop it, and then you switched sides to limit what she. Well, what was.
I mean, I was always in favor to stop him, just in not the let's destroy the universe as we know it way.
Right, and so was Azimuth, of course. Possibly Morgan looking at his sheet and saying, "Wait a minute, that's my ability you're screwing with there." I'm all about stopping stopping a terrible, terrible problem, but that doesn't mean you get to, it doesn't mean you get to drop it. At least not until I've had my fun with it. So, which I think is great. It's exactly that kind of irresponsible story creation that I'm talking about.
But that's one last interesting thing, that if if the fiction makes certain things in a character sheet lose meaning, if a character destroys the earth and I have the ability of living in Idaho, wherever, it's an interesting.
That's okay. These kinds of stories, I mean, as I've said before, in these kinds of stories, you do see stories where the earth is destroyed. Sometimes in the first few panels.
I guess you can always use it as I remember home, or suddenly my home was miniaturized and put into a bubble.
There's also the interesting idea of how do you build entities that are interesting and have multiple features, and the answer is you start new abilities. So let's say Alex decides that Diamonds needs to be more interesting in terms of abilities. Well, fine, spend a hero point, buy an ability, and start it. And it's one of her aspects. So you can kind of build a little island in your own sheet, right? Right now, she's still just a personal ability. She's actually not a cosmic entity at all. If he wants, lover of the Earth Goddess as his ability in cosmic, then he needs to buy it and stick it there. And then Diamonds is both. So does that's sort of starting to make a little more sense about how you build interesting things, to exist in the universe with us, and to obviously be on tap for other players to grab and use as more proactive entities off of your sheet on you. And it just amazes me. That's so coherent, That's a feature of this design. It's not part of HeroQuest, and it just strikes me as very, very doable.
One question. If you take a minus to your main ability, then do the abilities that are subparts of that also take the minus?
Well, that's the question. Being really, really super mean, the answer would be yes. But with our game, the consequences are so ferocious, so awful to do that I'm kind of reluctant. And
also, then there will be no incentive to ever use the main abilities.
Correct. Right. You never would. You would never risk them or anything. And also, you'd also be targeting them, and that would be very brutal. It introduces they need to be privileged in some way. That's true. You
Yeah.
have to make the keyword important, as opposed to just another ability. It does need to govern the other abilities somehow.
Yeah.
So I'm just not quite sure how at this point. I'll have to think about that a little bit. So, all right. Well, to continue with the structure of play that I finally arrived at after 2 sessions, um, the last conflict that we faced,
Hmm.
geez, what was it? I'm like 2 champions games in between this one and that one.
I remember vaguely. It's weird. I only remember vaguely though. Not my character. I tried to finish. Yes, I tried to finish my album.
Oh, that's right. It
Yeah.
was you. That's
Yeah.
right. Yes, yes. It was someone was targeting you.
Yeah, I was.
Yeah.
I was.
Okay. Oh well, it's revenge time now.
And
Go on.
I finished the album thinking, yeah, John,
Yes,
I've got
I
it all
love
out.
this conflict. Oh my god, that was so much
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah, it was really great.
And we had a great time, and it was big, and it was sad and beautiful.
Right.
And then the next day, I was just like,
You have
more,
an
more.
idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I use
Right. Because you
was-
had a marginal defeat. Yeah. Cool. All right. Well, by the rules, you're the person who picks the next player, who targets the next player in line based on who's present, who happens to be I am. So,
Mhm.
so that's kind of useful and interesting. But you're right. You didn't use your character in that conflict, Ahel. So
No.
fictionally, which is fine, but fictionally means your character's been off page for a very long time.
Yeah.
So that
I
means
mean, I have my own side story that episode, but yeah, I used diamonds. I think.
Right.
But anyway,
So the first thing Alex does is ask you what your character is doing.
What are you doing?
So last time we went kind of Earth bullshit. So let's go cosmic bullshit. Oh yeah.
Oh wait, you changed the energy structure of Earth.
Yeah,
Right.
Yeah,
kind of did that.
Right.
Yeah.
You became like Dr. Tesla, the Tesla genius of changing the entire economic and ecological and energetic structure of human society.
Yeah, me and my
Right.
Elena Mendez
Right.
changed the world a little.
Yes.
So yeah, we did that last week, but that's like long ago.
But that's
so
last week.
that's so last week. Who remembers that?
Right.
So since the Earth is doing okay now and they are having their fun with all of that thing, I've gone on holidays to visit the ruins of my old home.
Ah, yes. You are the last survivor of the primers.
Yeah,
Right.
and the cause of their extinction as well.
This is great. It's the we've got Earth's first mind, the last survivor of the Silurians. We've got you out there, the last survivor of this and that.
I mean, we have to be the only something in the universe. Oh, that's a given.
Mm-hmm. So, well, like I said, a certain arrogance in these characters, but that's just
definitely
kind of how it is,
So yeah, I am in what looks like the ruins of ancient civilization. Like buildings are massive, spiraling structures that penetrate the skies of this death wall that is covered by radioactive clouds, and everything is covered in dust.
Jack Kirby and Mobius just had a child.
Yeah, and I'm landing on the surface of this of the planet, which and in here I'm landing where all the pods, the resting pods for my people were installed, which now have become their tombs.
Oh, of course. Yes.
So basically, I'm in the cemetery,
People
for
pods
my,
full of corpses
basically the cemetery for my whole
under
race.
the radioactive clouds with the corkscrewing buildings and the blasted landscape. And you're
And I'm in
like
the
a
middle.
naked, glowing Silver Surfer looking kind of person. Is that correct? Right.
Basically, my body takes kind of the colors of
Right. I remember the color thing. Yeah.
the energies that goes around. So now it's kind of
It's radioactive colored.
something like that.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever that means for this particular comic book.
Yeah.
Because we all know radioactive energy has to be very colorful.
Yep. So yeah, I'm here. Basically, I'm searching for something, for lost technology from my people.
So you have several abilities in Cosmic that you could use, and you could use the keyword ability.
Mm-hmm.
You could also use the Protector of Theron. You could, but what else would you possibly be? What you pick the ability, of course. That you.
I mean, I think given that this is the literal image of my loneliness in the universe and how I'm the last ones of my race. Like this is the poster for that. I think Demethia's Last Survivor of the Primers is the one.
I think if you're using a keyword, you get 2 pages. A 2-page.
Yeah, the spread.
Flip it over.
Nice.
It's a big spread for the whole thing.
That's the advantage of using them, right?
Yeah.
Cool.
So the next step is for Alex to attack some ability of Demetheus, and it can be anything.
What's the ability you choose if you're attacking them to do damage? Would that be the cosmic or the person?
Okay. You're picking both the ability to attack and the ability that's attacking it. You're picking both. Right.
Oh, I was just thinking, say if I well, I'll tell you for a second. The ability
go ahead.
Yeah. So the ability that I want to use to attack is on my sheet, the long disused automatons of the Time Warriors.
Right.
I'll narrate how that happens in a second, but they're going to be trying to just shoot Demetheus.
But you're saying that's happening because of what happened previously?
Ooh, that's an interesting point. We haven't yet established why these people are dead.
No.
Right.
No.
But more importantly, remember, either you're picking something off his sheet, which is kind of a free thing to attack him with, doesn't need any justification. But if you're picking something from someone else's sheet, then you have to tie it precisely to the last scene, causally. So your album has to have caused him some kind of great problem.
Oh, okay, that's... Wait one second.
For all you know, hey, listen, that album was fucking awesome. That it may have reverberated through the dimensions and space and time itself, changing the fabric of reality is no joke. This is, how, after all, the new Prague. So if you wanted to, you could actually attack his keyword, Last Survivor of the Primers, with your keyword, Father of the New Prague. You actually could do that.
I would love to know how that works, like how that does look. Like, are you going to bring back my people to life through your music?
Right,
like
yeah, exactly.
Zombify them.
Right. That's where Alex now gets to have some fun.
Yeah, like go for it if you want to do that.
Mm-hmm.
No, okay. This does tie in.
That's what happens to Gordon every time. Gordon's like this. He's like, he's looking, he's reading, and then he goes, and starts to talk. Go ahead. Sorry, Alex. I love it. Go on.
It may be tenuous. I'll pitch it and then we'll see. So I'm doing really well. We have two facts. So I'm going to pitch this. We'll see. One, I'm doing very well. Secondly, we've established that Diamonds has got a problem with Prometheus, right?
Uh-huh.
Now, I think that Orn, who's my enemy, wants to make Prometheus far stronger. What way to do that, because Orn is a creature of time, to go back and resurrect the race. And so Orn, my character sheet, will attack last survivor of the Primes.
I want to know what this looks like. What does this entity look like? Because obviously we need to shift into Thanos' lair while he's lounging around pissed off, right?
Well, I guess so. I mean, what do the Primers as a whole look like? Because they might have a High Council or something, right?
You mean where right now they look like corpses, like really fancy corpses?
You describe them the peak of their civilization.
I mean, I can do that, but you could do it as well. Like I have no. This is just bullshit. I put on the character.
Well, you can go back and forth, right?
Wait, Alex, what?
I mean, I can do it if you want.
What I'm saying, why don't you stick with Orn, not the Primers?
Okay. Well,
Orn there, and then we get an idea of what he's doing to the Primers.
Okay, so Orn's been kind of just flung into some kind of weird past. He's in some strange dimension now. I don't know what's happened to him, right? I think, again, he looks like me wearing a suit, presumably.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Just floating through space, holding a kind of briefcase. And he's thinking, he's thinking kind of hard about this. A light kind of goes on. We see him kind of disappear. Time begins kind of fluctuating. The stars in the galaxy kind of shift back positions. He's gone back thousands and thousands, maybe millions of years. And then we're on we see the sparkling civilization of the Primers and Orn appearing there. Me in a suit with a suitcase.
And doing what?
Oh, okay, yeah. So
you could accelerate the time, the time blowback to the point where, so their civilization starts resurrecting.
Or you could do the Doctor Who bullshit of, I faked the destruction so as not to alter the timeline, but actually they are somewhere hidden or something like that.
Let's wait for the complications in a minute.
Yeah.
I was going to do was to have him go back in time, but I'm really timey, and actually Orn's not going to bother fucking around with that. He's just going to land in the kind of dead mausoleum, raise his hands. Note the past several thousand years just haven't happened.
That's right.
So, I think we see things kind of rupture, fracture, the mausoleums just start kind of being undone, falling apart. The gleaming kind of spiraling cities of the Primers is revealed in its full glory.
So he landed in the radioactive landscape and was just about to launch into a Shakespearean monologue when all of a sudden everybody's shopping.
Yes.
We'll see about that. You don't take my angst away.
Well, I'm liking all of that.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm totally okay with this. Let's go ahead and see about what you do. So we know what ability you were using, and we know that what ability is being attacked, which in this case is the same, just happens to be. And we know what ability is coming after it, but we don't know what you're going to defend with.
Mm-hmm.
And let's see, you were attacking with something that was personal in your case, Alex. What category was it in?
No, mine was in Cosmic.
In Cosmic. So Cosmic on Cosmic. So there's no hero point games. Everybody has 3 hero points, by the way.
Yeah.
And so what are you going to do about that?
I mean, I'm going to
Orn is only like 18 or maybe knocks down a little bit, right?
Yeah, he got knocked down. I think Orn's on 12 now.
Okay.
He had a -6 from his 18.
Yeah, although that was overpowered. It should have been a -3.
Oh, really? Should I change that then?
Yeah, because.
Okay.
This is interesting. I think I just changed completely my mind completely about why all of this destruction happened in the first place.
Well, you
I'm
never
going
told
to-
us in the first place, so that's
Yeah, that's the thing. I had a big idea, so
Right.
so I'm going to use Protector of Theran
Okay.
because they all died, and they all died because of him. Because they died for a reason.
They died because of me and because it was
For a reason.
Right.
So I cannot let this happen. So I mean, I have to protect Theran.
Michael Moorcock has.
I have to protect Theran from himself.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to stop. I'm going to stop this from happening.
What will you do?
I mean, this individual has to be generating an enormous amount of energy, so it's not going to be able to hard to track down. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to use the defenses of the planet itself to fight him, like all the weaponry, like cosmic level weaponry that I still have control over. I'm going to use it to defend against it. Now I really have to get a proper D20 at some point.
That's the problem with all you apocalypse people. You don't have any of these lying around. Yeah. Poor Santiago went out and had to get more D6s for champions. Roll a handful of them. Right.
Okay, so now we roll, right?
Okay.
Yes, we do.
I will roll my
I love
all.
GMing this game. I don't have to do any of that shit.
I fail on 16.
Okay. So you have a failure.
I succeed at 11.
Mm-hmm. Do you have a bump on that?
Yeah, is 18 W, 18 mastery.
So yes, so you have a critical. So in a critical on a failure is, I believe, a major defeat. Yeah, he would get a major victory, or you would get a major victory. But now it's kind of interesting. Alex can burn hero points to change this. And of course, he has the option of spending all 3 of his hero points, 1, 2, 3, to move you to a fumble. In which case, he would have a failure on a fumble, giving him a minor victory. Or he could move himself up to a critical, in which case it's critical and critical, where we would look at the high roll to get a marginal victory.
I'm not going to spend anything.
That's right. And you have that option for sure. You totally have that option, which in many ways is interesting because that means you can now, well, let's see. If that's the case, then we're talking about your failure on his critical. He gets a major victory on you. And according to the sheet that we are now properly using, you would bump that down, which in this case, since it has no mastery, gets struck off.
Yeah, goodbye one.
Right, and so you see, he's kind of getting something he wants out of this. But we had an interesting run with that particular element on your sheet. But you have grown now; you are past this.
So I guess it's me in a suit with a briefcase with cosmic weaponry and lasers,
right,
blasting him in a kind of.
That's what happens, right? So I get to narrate the outcome, and I have to be clear about the major victoryness of it. Now, it isn't a complete victory, because, and I'll tell you why. But yes, here at this place.
I mean, if getting a complete victory would make a lot of difference.
You would bump him down to a fumble rather than a failure, and then you would get the major victory, the complete victory. So mechanically, it's the same. It gets struck off of the sheet, but the nature of the narration will change. And I will tell you, I have an idea for the difference.
I mean, it's just 1 point away, so I feel like I want to see what happens.
Okay,
So
so you're going to spend the hero point, right?
complete
Well, in which
victory.
case, yes, the weaponry will completely obliterate Orn, and completely before he can lock down the impact of all this time change. Yes, the weaponry will fire. In fact, we see you like, with your arms spread, hovering in the air as all the different weapons are striking from different angles. And of course, they all miss you as you hover there, right? And they completely obliterate Orn. And as they do so, the new present dissolves, and you now are in the present that should be.
Mhm.
And as you were doing this, people you knew were crying out to you for help in the destruction of the world by the malfunction of the weapons. And now you see those self same ones still lying there in their pods, right? So now he feels bad. Awesome.
You want me to get an ability that is something like I regret everything or something like that?
Yeah, that's right. The ability regret. Yeah, that's a good ability. That's a great ability.
Yeah.
And so, Alex, you of course can strike that through on your sheet, and also, I'm trying to think of something else to say about. Oh yes, I'll tell you what would have happened if it had been a major defeat rather than a complete defeat. I would have had the same thing happen, except that Orn's memory would be sure to persist in Zebediah Infinity, because it would be a necessary component of this musical idea that he can't get rid of. But that's not the case now.
Cool.
So yeah, so we would have messed it. I kind of like the idea that we always know what Zebediah Infinity is working on musically. Always. It's just part of the through line of what we do. Whether he's stuck on a song or not, whether he's lost his manager or not, whether he's cut the new album or not, whether the interviewer, tried to seduce him, of all those things.
All our misadventures are just fuel for his album. That's all they are.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. We knew that.
So do I get any increase in anything? Or?
Yes. Having had a major victory, according to this sheet, your protector just gained. Oh wait, you got a complete victory. Just gains 9.
Ooh, 2
and it
mastery.
Was at 18, is it 18 mastery? Is that correct?
Yep.
No, now you're at 7 mastery 2.
Yep. Yeah, like now that I have two levels of mastery.
Now, I will tell you, you may wonder what happens when you have 2 abilities on each other, each with masteries. Does that mean everybody gets to bump all over the place? The answer is no. What you do is you subtract the masteries and then go with the new totals. So if you have something with a mastery versus something with a mastery, both go away, and you're dealing with just the basic rolls. If you have something with 1 mastery and something with 2 mastery, then the 1 goes away, and this guy only has 1 for purposes of this contest. So
cool.
That keeps things a little easier. Cool. All right. Well, that was just fun. You, of course, since you are the highlight of this scene, are perfectly allowed to continue with saying more things you do. They will either require rolls of their own against a base difficulty if I say so, or Alex can decide to torture you again should he see fit.
I do want to
You do see the
one
fun,
last.
right? If he
Yeah.
increases something like this and then he decides to do something else, and you can
Oh
see
yeah.
why the thing he just increased would cause it a problem,
Which
all of
is
a
probably
sudden
going
you're
to.
up against the thing that you just jacked up through the roof. So,
Which is what happened last session.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
I do want to do something which is what I originally wanted to do here,
Yes.
which is I want to get the God Killer weapon.
Is that an
Which,
ability, or is that just something you're making up?
yeah, it's something I'm making up. So probably is
So what you
an
would
ability.
do is you would first put an ability on your sheet by spending a hero point, the God Killer
Okay.
weapon, and then you would say that you are, or rather, what you could kind of do it one way or the other. You could either just buy it and then just say I have it, and there's no roll, or you could say I want to get it, and then say what ability you're going to use, and then I would probably you would make you roll against a difficulty.
Mm-hmm.
Or
I mean,
you could combine it by saying that you buy it, but now you want an ability to try to see if you can make it get higher.
yeah, that's
Right.
what I want to do
Right.
basically.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm going to spend the points so I have the God Killer weapon, which is, I guess, super in this case.
Okay.
Like,
Good enough.
because
Nothing
it's
wrong with
designed
that.
to kill cosmic things.
Well, no. If it's
No,
designed,
right?
no,
Because
that's the problem. It would
person
have to
is
be
the other way
personal,
around.
right? Yeah, that's
Yeah,
that's
the
the
other
trouble.
way
You
around.
can't fight cosmic things with powerful things. They're already cosmic.
Yeah.
Right.
So then cosmic, then probably.
Okay, yeah. So you do that.
So,
A God Killer weapon.
oh,
That doesn't sound good, Alex.
No.
and then basically I am like this thing is in the center of the planet, like in the more in the what used to be the more secure place on the galaxy, but it has been millions and millions of years without proper maintenance. It doesn't have any energy, so it's basically almost useless. So I have to power it up. So that's what I'm going to try to do. I'm going to try to restart the batteries of this thing.
So there's a couple of things you can do. Technically, the way we're playing is you would actually use it and hope to succeed with it. But that is actually a little bit not very practical because it's so low.
Mm-hmm.
So what you would do is pick another ability. And the game is actually very, very liberal or generous about how you apply the pluses and the minuses.
Mm-hmm.
Technically, you're supposed to look across the sheet and find everything that they might apply to and apply the bonus or the penalty across all of them.
Mm-hmm.
Which in our case, because it's permanent, is a little severe, I think. But you could say that the plus, if you succeed, will not go to the ability you're using, but will go to that instead.
Yeah.
And that's okay. That is an okay thing.
I think that makes sense. So yeah, basically I'm going to use my Being of Pure Energy ability to reroute my own energy into this thing.
Well, the first thing we need to do is to concern ourselves with the difficulty.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm going to decree that instead of Alex picking something dreadful to choose to oppose you, that instead I'm going to say, no, this is just against a base difficulty. Since we've had 5 sessions, the difficulty we use in circumstances of this kind is 15. So I'm going to roll, and I get so I use it actually as an ability. That's kind of interesting. All right, I get a success.
And I'm using, which one I'm using? Being of Pure Energy. I got a 13. So by default, like on the baseline is a failure, but because I have 1 mastery, it goes up to a success.
Correct. So therefore it's a success on a success.
Mm-hmm.
And since you're basically attacking and I'm defending, I'm just setting a difficulty.
Mhm.
Since it's success on success, then the attacker gets a marginal victory. So
Mhm.
you have a marginal victory, which in this case gets you absolutely no increase.
That's not good enough, so I'm going to spend my last
Hero point, right?
hero point,
Uh-huh.
which means that I'm going to really have to fuck over
Right, somebody.
on my.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So you then get, therefore, you will have a +3. So it turns into a 16 instead of a 13.
That's something.
Yeah, well, it could have been a 9. If you'd gotten a complete victory, you could have ended up with 13 to, now it could have been a 2 mastery. So,
We'll get there.
yeah. So, excellent. All right. I think
So
we're
yeah, I
good.
think
Yeah.
yeah, that was the last thing I wanted to do for this
Excellent.
scene.
All right. Well, that was just too much fun. And so then you get to ask another player, the next player in line for the people who are present today, what are they doing?
So Sebediah, what are you doing?
Well, I've gone through a few changes. Okay, I'll set the scene. There's a massive red rock floating through space. It's flat and it has a translucent dome over it. Inside this huge dome, I think there's people of every kind of races from all across the galaxy are gathered before a huge stage. On the stage is
no. Helen, I
Oh,
just figured out what you're talking about.
yeah.
Wow, that was a hell of an album, wasn't it? Talk about going viral.
Well, this is my new band. So on the stage, we see a kind of floating blue triangle before bubbling kind of clear beakers. It's playing some kind of instrument. This was I don't know the blue thing's name actually. Maybe it's unpronounceable, but he was big wherever he came from. Yeah. I think a tall red guy as well. Play guitar actually. You need to keep
Somehow
the old instruments
that works.
alive. And then me in the center, dressed in silver, singing to the adoring crowd. And this is my new band, Distance Over Time.
Distance over time.
Nice. So you are the prog person of disaster area from the Douglas Adams books.
Yeah, this is my mastery. I've now got 5 mastery in my band. So I mean, this is the next level, right?
That's right. That's why it has a new name, because you brought it over a level of mastery.
Oh,
Matter of fact, you did that with one of yours, didn't you?
Oh yeah.
You have to rename it.
Oh, yeah. I'll do that. So you are just about to like give the concert of the millennium to the galaxy, right?
Oh, look what he's gonna do! Oh, he's gonna fucking do a concert.
Yeah, no, this might be the first big event. We've been off in the studio writing, and this is our first big. Because we're a super group, you know. There's me. We're all big kind of prog singers in our respective parts of the galaxy.
That's what I was saying. Now we're going to discover whether you are, Steely Dan or Asia.
Nice. So what ability would you be using? Well, that's pretty obvious now that I think about it.
Yeah.
Right. And so then it's all a question of what you might want to target and with what.
I mean, the God Killer weapon is not ready yet. So
yeah, I think Diamonds is up there at what, 9 mastery or 12 mastery or something hideous by now. So
I mean, I think that's I always hit with it. I always hit him with the same iron. I have to change a little bit. Okay, so what else do you have right now? This is your what kind of what category is the ability you are using? Person?
The future, the distance over time is a personal.
Yep.
Is a personal thing.
So we'll have to use super.
As time goes by, even those become less and less and less mundane. So I guess that makes sense. So, although I do kind of like the idea that what if you were playing music that penetrated time? So you'd be using a penetrate time.
Oh, actually, yeah.
That's pretty cool.
No, but I need my hero point.
Right. So to go after a personal one, then you need a super problem.
Yep.
And so you wouldn't
Uh,
use one of his really, unless. Oh,
I have some ideas.
yeah. Okay.
Primordial energy. Yeah, I think I'm going to go use your primordial energy, and I think.
Wait, you're going to use his. What do you mean primordial energy? Where is that?
That's one of his. Am I getting it wrong? Demetrius.
No, he's not
Super.
Demetrius. He's
Oh
Zebediah.
shit!
Right. So if you're trying to go for super
Yeah.
personal, then I suggest that you would do the you can use the one that has the negative quality, and his memories are interfering. That although he's the rewind wounds, but it makes his memories stronger. That's a possibility, is all.
Because that's gone. Stasis waves, destruction beams, fly through space.
Yeah, those are all superpowers, from his.
Yeah.
Helmet. Yeah. Head, in fact.
Yeah, from the head. Yes. And see, this is the tricky thing because none of them.
No, I get it. I got it.
It leads me to a good rules point, though. If one of them had something like side effects, like shoots laser beams, but they go out of control, then you could use something like that. But they don't have that in there, so you can't just say they go out of control. You see what I mean? So, Alex, does that solve some of the things we're talking about? He can't just make the laser rays go out of control to be a problem for you, because they're not ambiguously phrased or, problematically phrased. So cool. All right, so go ahead on him. I just wanted to make.
So yeah, I think the issue here is that like you have attained this new level of musical mastery, and now you're using this highly advanced instruments, and you're channeling the power of diamond and all this bullshit. And I think something else is going to come out, like your memories are going to physically manifest through your music, and they're going to get out of control. I mean, if they don't, it's going to look super cool. But if they do, they're going to break havoc among the crowd.
Okay, cool. So
he got rid of one manifestation of his past, and now there's.
I mean, that's it. I'm even feeling a bit high. I felt the absence void in the back of my mind. It's a weight off my shoulders.
Yeah, I know. I agree. And now you just can't escape your past. The curse of the transcendent rocker. He's it's the Bruce Springsteen thing. He's the great beloved rock and roller of all time, and he's beloved by millions and has all this success and everything. But he goes back to his hometown, and that old girlfriend is there, with the kid by the gas station attendant, and he still loves her. That kind of thing. Very Bruce Springsteen. So yeah.
So yeah, that's what's going to happen. Possibly.
Right. Cool. So what we're seeing actually is all of these memories of his life that are part of the music. But I'm going to say, to kind of help narrate this, they start talking to him. Right. The beings from the past and the details of your history start giving you opinions, and they're all the opinions you always feared these people would have.
And I guess
and everybody, of course, across the galaxy listening to this is like learning everything about your life.
Yeah. So I'm probably attacking your band. Like you're getting out of control, you're losing control of the music.
Right. So you're attacking the same thing that he's using.
Probably, yeah.
Right. Sure. So okay, let's do it.
I've got to choose what to defend with, right?
Right. Now we could make this an extended contest, but usually we save extended contests for things that are really climactic. So, for example, if things ever go to sort of a make or break moment with diamonds, then we would do an extended contest, but we're not going to do it this time. So, good.
Okay. So you're attacking with my super ability. Is that right?
Yeah.
Right. So he gets a hero point.
Well, it depends what I defend with, right? Oh no, he gets hero point. No, he gets hero point just because I was using
exactly.
I took
that. I took the ability for the attacked player to strategize that away. Right.
Yeah.
So, and of course, it had an effect that I really liked. By seeking that constrained condition, he had to be imaginative about what ability he chose. Right. He's found a way to make this relevant to that. And I think that's exactly what we want, right? We want people jumping around all over the sheets, not just going to the go-to every time.
Yeah.
So, okay. Solving problems without realizing it. That's fantastic.
I'm going to defend with Won't Return Home. In effect, I'm like, no, I left you behind.
That's right. Never
Why?
Of course.
No matter how far I run.
That's exactly right. That won't return home. That's fantastic. Oh,
nice.
Roll. The GM says, "I can't take any more. Roll."
Okay, so I roll. That's probably not great. I mean, that's a failure. That's an 18 on the dice. So that's a failure for me.
Okay, so you have a failure and no bump, correct? Right.
Yep.
I mean, no mastery, right? So what about you, Alex?
I succeed in a 6.
So success on a failure, I believe, is a marginal? No, a minor victory? Let me double check. Success on a failure is a minor victory.
Yep, minor victory.
So are we okay with that? Now he's getting greedy. Yeah.
No, do you know what? I am okay with that, actually.
Okay. So mechanically speaking, you will, of course, you're not going to return home, which is exactly the right defense for all of this. And you use this to make the most powerful, simultaneously emotional and mathematical statements. So all the reviewers who are geeks are going to be amazed at the math that you used, to do this with. And then to
are they the new tool? Is everyone going to be dissecting every song?
That's
yeah.
It's Frog. I mean,
he's following the Fibonacci structure.
The callback to Krautrock without being, the callback to Kraftwerk without being derivative remains a signature of blah blah blah. Okay, so let's go ahead and see about the effect. The effect, I'm saying, is that this very personal revelation of yourself into this has a huge effect because it even transcends species boundaries. Right, this whole tapestry of connectivity.
You can just run away.
Right.
And sometimes that's the best thing to do.
Right. Well, that's one way to look at it, I guess. And so one could take a somewhat more conciliatory healing approach, but I guess Won't Return Home is a little less conciliatory than that, so I get that. So let's let's see about the numbers. With a minor victory, according to my charts, that's a +3.
Nice.
Right. So you're going, yeah, minor victory is going to give you a +3, so that you were at a, what was it?
13 for it.
So now you're a 16. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. Cool. And so, speaking as the narrator, I'm going to say that the performance is amazing, such that the act. Well, no, it's not a major victory or complete victory, so I'm not going to actually do what came to mind. But it's a really, it's better than just, it's better. The marginal victory would be, well, you did the concert, you kept control of the music, and everybody went home. No, they didn't go just home. The success of this, all of a sudden you are known, you are,
I'm touching the people with my music.
well, the people everywhere. So cool.
I knew it. I mean, I knew I was destined for great things.
And so there's that humility again, right? So what we have is the although I think I used a different word for it a little earlier. Alex, do you want to keep going? Do you want to have like another scene, if you want to use that terminology, or do you want to do more stuff and use another ability, and otherwise just keep sort of Zebediah's saga continuing from this bit?
I think I might do. Give me just 2 seconds to think.
I really like that option too. To say, okay, we're done with my guy. Let's flip the page and see, someone else. Or to say, no, this makes me want to do something more, so I'll just keep doing a little more.
Yes, I think. I mean, I'm probably missold about this maybe, but I think that we'll have a scene in on a planet now, in their equivalent of a 5-star hotel, and I want to be talking to Diamonds. I think maybe we're kind of we're in a private pool, floating above the kind of city, and
And when they say 5-star hotels, in this case, they mean it's surrounded by 5 stars.
Right. No, the planet is the 5-star hotel. Right, exactly. Okay, I get it.
I'm like,
oh my God.
The
caption just says, the 5-star hotel, and it's a planet. There are 5 stars. So.
Yes, exactly.
Like, Diamonds, I feel a lot better recently. Orn's gone. However,
I feel kind of good. I don't really know why, but I just do.
Yeah, I think I've left everything behind me. We're here now. It's time. I've started the new chapter, I think. And okay, yeah, I'm playing music. That's a good thing. I'm connecting with people. And I think Diamonds, I'm ready to make that commitment. So I mean, is there anything left that needs to be dealt with?
She's looking outward and says, the dangers. The dangers are great. I see so much more. I see it through your music. I see it through the vibrations. And there's just so many things that we need to be wary of. We can be snuffed out by that Qin Lao entity. The being Demetheus, who inadvertently, brought me to my new state, could so easily, it's fragile. She says, your music will live together, but will live forever. But we are fragile, more so than you may realize. There are enemies. So she says, Qin Lao is somewhat imprisoned, and his child may pose a problem in the future.
Well, it was a
But
nice plan.
now we have a real problem. Demetrius.
The star being.
Yes, already, you may not realize it, but already your actions perturb his existence. Sooner or later, he's going to take action to end us.
They did already attack you once. Well, it's time to put a rest to that then. I pull off my head.
Ah,
It disappears in blue sparks. I place the head of Eternus on me. And I fly out into space.
so what? Okay, so is that all you're going to do? Or do you want to go?
Yes, I mean, the assumption will be I'm heading towards
Demetrius.
Prometheus.
Well, if we wanted to keep going, then you happily, because of the confirmation of this particular play group, you would now happily look at Angel, smile nicely, and say, "And what are you doing?"
Yeah. What are you doing?
Yeah, Angel's just sitting there with his arms folded. Here it comes. Here it comes.
Yeah, I was kind of expecting this.
And
I am.
now, how do you kill another character? You state it as the goal, and you manage to get a complete victory. And regardless of what that does to any numbers on the sheet, that will kill the character.
Nice. Okay. Good to know.
Which is why you attack them in their weakest spots.
I mean,
Also, a good reason in this game not to let your low abilities lie low, because they're always a point of vulnerability, because someone else can choose to attack that thing if they can figure out a way.
So I think I understood my planet, but things have changed a little. I've restarted the machines that
That's right, you did. Right.
that power the god-killing weapon. So now we see this what's the English name? This
Satellite?
yeah, kind of satellite like
platforms, or
what's the things that some planets have around, like the
rings?
Yeah, rings, but not like natural occurring rings, like
right.
Like fabricated metallic looking rings.
You've completely weaponized your entire planet.
Yes.
Right.
Very much. Oh, well, yeah, like they are like two concentric rings orbiting around the planet, and I'm basically in the middle of kind of in the middle of the planet, connected to a mechanical interface through my body to that's giving me control of
you made your planet into a mech?
Yes. Yes, and it also contains the spirit of my mother or something like that. But let's not go into that.
You're gonna have to buy that. So
yeah, probably.
Yeah, mothers cost money.
Kind of, yeah. So yeah, I'm there with my exoplanet skeleton. Getting it like I'm just
what
getting
ability
ready.
Are you using?
I mean, yeah, Wielder of the Spark of Creation. I haven't used this one in a while. I'm using the Spark of Creation to. That's what allows me to control this planet. Basically, that's the key. Yeah, I'm getting ready for battle. Basically.
Oh, do you know I'm coming?
Well,
Not necessarily. I was planning on visiting you after the proper preparation. So
yeah. Besides, I mean, you got all these weapons going. He's a little, he's been living on Earth a long time after all.
yeah, and
Been a while.
yeah, everything is a little bit rusty.
Well, not only
So
that, but been a while since you played with your toys.
Well, I will, at this point then, burst down through space, and I'm attacking your person, Stephen Baxter, with my energy rays. So I'm just blast you to pieces.
Right. You are human somewhere, and he can attack it. Right.
I come down, red beams start coming from the helmet.
Oh, that's a super battle. Awesome.
Yeah.
Right.
nice.
And so, I like this though, because you're not. Yeah. We can. Your strike. So you would actually be striking at the human, right? That's very important.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep. So destructor beams versus Stephen Baxter.
Well, I kind of like it. It's we were saying, haha, I am armored, I am radioactive, I am planet-sized, I am this, and then all of a sudden the beam strikes out and like hits the Stephen Baxter in you, who screams. I even like the idea of your energy featureless self, right? But then the human self superimposed inside there is screaming, right?
Exactly. I mean, if I lose that part, it's going to be interesting what happens to my character.
That's right. Hey, God battle. God battle big time. Yeah. And so let's go ahead
Battle
and
of the Bands.
Yeah. Let's see what happens. That
So
would be
to defend, I need to defend.
You need to pick something to defend. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, like Protector of Theron.
Okay.
This is my my equipment. This is my shield.
Right, exactly. That makes perfectly good sense. So go ahead. What are you rolling, Alex?
I am rolling a 13 energy blast.
Just a 13. Okay.
Yep.
So roll. And you've got
destructor beams. It's still 13 though. Yeah.
Okay. So Ihil, you're rolling something with a much higher score, correct?
Yeah. 7 mastery 2.
7 mastery 2.
And I got a 10.
Okay.
Which is
a failure, but you can bump it to a critical.
Success critical. Yep.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So I succeed.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
On
8. Right. Now, the critical on a success is going to be you're attacking actually, so we're going to go this way. You've got a success, but he got a critical. He'll get a minor victory over you.
Yeah, I'm not going to spend any hero points.
Oh, really? Okay. So, mechanically speaking, I should do this last, but mechanically speaking, the destructor beams are going to drop by 3 points for a minor victory to a 10. And then, but what's going to happen is that basically it's like pew, 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 and Stephen Baxter is agonized, but you fight, but the planet, swings into action. You can't just ignore the mech. Thank you very much. Right. So I imagine that, orbital lasers and, awful asteroid size.
I'm not sure if this is the second or third time I've tried this.
Right.
I keep blind to it, I try and blast it, and then this cosmic effect happens. I'm like, ah!
That's right. Right. Yeah.
Maybe try to talk with him.
That's right. Yeah. Exactly. I mean, you could, interestingly enough, you could have used. Well, you see, that's the thing. Stephen Baxter has no doubts. If Stephen Baxter doubted, his role, or if Stephen Baxter had certain personality traits, if this involved humanity, which it doesn't, Stephen Baxter was fascinated by humanity but doesn't know how to save them. Right?
Yeah, that's my
weakness. But humanity's not involved here, so you wouldn't be able to use some kind of internal way to screw with them in this case. So okay, all right. So, however, that means that you are defeated. And so since a minor defeat, if it was like a major defeat, I'd actually have him capture you. You'd be, kind of helpless. But their phrasing for a minor defeat, your character is impaired. So that means that you are relatively unable to do something if he wants to take control of you or, do whatever he wants to do with you. You're not completely taken out, so you might be able to get a roll, but at the moment, he's got power over you.
Mm-hmm.
So, and there's nothing you can do about it. You're going to be in that position if you want to do something about it.
Okay.
So Angel, do you want to
Oh, yes.
see? Oh, yeah. Okay.
And you you see this size, this planet size mecha armor like defeat your attacks and put you in a tough spot for a moment, and you think, oh, now it's going to go for the kill.
Yeah. But it's having no effect.
Right.
But instead, in front of you, the astral or projection of Stephen Baxter appears, and he's going to try to talk to you. And I say to you, I know you have great love for Diamond, but she's a danger to herself, to others. I don't want to hurt her, but she must be contained.
You're going to be using your wants to save humanity. That's the ability that has to be used here. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what will you defend with? Also, what are you attacking? Are you attacking diamonds to try to bring diamonds lower?
Yeah.
Okay. Ooh. Okay, Alex.
I've every time
he's fighting dirty now.
Diamonds is it is personal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, at this point, should it not switch to cosmic or something?
No. What if you're using super on personal, then you get a hero point. Right now, you're using personal on personal, I believe.
Yeah.
But that's okay.
No, I mean that at this point, I feel like Diamond should be cosmic because she's like.
Well, to do that, he would have to buy an ability in his cosmic that would reflect her cosmic nature.
Yep.
So it's person on person, right?
Yeah.
Well, no, because it.
Oh no, I've got.
Well, no, sorry. It is person on person in terms of the hero point situation.
Yeah.
But you're not defending with diamonds. You have to choose what you're defending with.
I am defending with my stasis rays. I just want to freeze this, stop it all from happening, and then maybe have some time to think.
Yeah, I don't want to deal with this right now.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's do it. Let's roll, and then this will call it for the night, I think. So,
Yeah.
So what happens?
I fail.
I succeed. A normal success.
Okay, so a normal success on a normal failure means a marginal.
Oh, although wait, so I've at this point I've got 5 hero points.
Ooh, 5 hero points.
Shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna.
Yeah.
Let's just go where we are on the table at the moment.
How do you have 5?
Angel's attacking, and he goes coming in with what, a success, right?
Yeah.
And you've got a failure, so he's got a minor victory on you at the moment. You can happily bump him down to a fumble if you want.
Yeah, let's do that.
But how? So you have
I had
3 at the
3, and then I lost. No, then I had 2 times when I got the superior ability.
He's been working.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So of course he had to pay for it with a
Yeah.
with losing an ability.
Oh,
So
yeah.
yeah. But no, that's interesting. He's changing. Zebediah is growing as a person.
Oh, that's something.
Right. Okay, so in that case, yes, you are now going to go down to a complete, to a major victory, I believe, because failures, yeah. You started with a failure, is that correct, Alex?
Yeah.
And then he had a success. And so
Mhm.
then you're going to bump him down instead to a fumble, and you're going to get a minor victory out of it.
Okay.
If you want to spend another one to move you to a success, then you'll get a major victory. So you're bumping yourself up and bumping him down too.
So how many hero points would that be?
That
So
would
if
be
I spend,
3.
and if I spend 4,
If you spend 4, then you get to go to a critical where you will get complete victory.
yeah, let's spend 4.
I'm going to spend my last one just not to make it a complete victory.
Oh,
Because,
okay, good enough.
and you can
Although I have one more left.
yeah,
Right, true. He can outbid you. Yeah.
yeah, you can. I'm spending it,
And I will outbid you. Yeah.
So you're going to force him to do it on Hill, right?
Well,
Otherwise, then you both have a hero point to spend on something too.
now that I think about it, like it's the end of the session, you will have to, yeah, you will not be able to use it much more anyway. Yeah, let's major victory. Let's not spend points for nothing.
Well, he wants to though. He's going to take you to a complete victory.
Yeah. No, yeah, just
Okay. Complete victory.
I don't spend the points. So major
basically,
victory.
what that means is you're locked down in stasis. You're completely in stasis.
Yep.
Right.
Just how I left my people when I abandoned this
That's
planet.
right. Yeah. Oh, that's fantastic. You're like drifting there in stasis with all the dead people on the planet that you're wearing also drifting with you in stasis. Excellent.
It's
so
a
that's
metaphor for
right.
something.
That's all we need to know, right? And so the ability you used was the stasis, right, Alex?
Yep.
Mhm.
And
Stasis
so
rays,
therefore you can make those go. Well, let's see. That's a good question. Is the target?
I think maybe when
No,
maybe
it's
we
got to be the
said
stasis. It's got to be the one he used,
yeah. Okay.
right? It kind of depends on the fiction, whether it's the thing that was targeted
Mhm.
or the thing that he used.
Yeah.
Right. And in this case, diamonds isn't there. So,
Mhm.
right. So, although putting you into stasis actually could make her goddessness go up. So it's up to Alex. Stasis,
do you know
razor,
what?
diamonds.
This is an interesting thing because I've effectively, maybe if you can put it as diamonds, I will, because I've taken out the threats to diamonds.
That's what I'm saying.
As my overall. Yep.
Right. That was exactly the point. You actually succeeded in doing that. Yeah.
Okay, so we'll bump up, we'll bump up diamonds more. So how much we should get bumped up?
That bumps her up by 9.
9. So I think she's on.
This is
17
getting out of
mastery, I
control.
think.
She was on 20W.
20W. Okay.
Yeah, she was just about
Yeah.
to get. Yeah.
Wait, she was at 20W and now she
Yeah.
gets 9?
Yep.
8 mastery, 8 mastery too.
Yes.
Now we're
Yes.
talking.
Yes.
Now we're talking. All right then. You know, the day when diamonds turns on him, when someone uses diamonds against him, that's going to be. That's the day that all the players are going to be living for. Or that never happens and the love permeates the whole universe. That's what I want.
Okay.
Well, it was kind of interesting. I'm still thinking about whether that reversal is really all that desirable, but I think the fiction led us there. You had him impaired, right? But you chose to take it to that social conflict.
Yeah.
Right. So that kind of meant he was able to operate, effectively in it. I have to think about that a little bit. But
I mean, that was me just like thinking in terms of
no, it
the
makes
thing.
perfectly good sense. I'm just thinking about, what basically Zebediah was completely beaten. And depending on what happened next, like you could have like stuck him in like a prison in, a million years ago or something like that. You could have done something
Mhm.
depending on your abilities. You could have done something crazy with him. Put him into stasis in your belly, in your planetary belly if you wanted. Um, but you chose instead to basically say, okay, no hostilities, let's talk.
Mhm.
And so that means that he was able to use his right. So,
Yeah.
I'm kind of that was a little soft.
One thing like maybe
I'll have to think about that.
we could have like talked like as players for a while because we went directly for the conflict,
Right. True.
but it
But
wasn't completely necessary. Like maybe we could
Yeah.
have waited a little bit more.
well, yes. Although I think everybody was pretty eager for the dice.
Yeah, yeah.
Shall we say?
One
When
thing is
that's the
clear,
case, you
like
just do it. Right.
the Pacific ops, like the pacifist option for
Right.
this
Yeah.
is
Right.
is
Right.
gone. Like
That's
I
right. Yeah.
tried.
Exactly. Yeah. So no, you did try. You did try. Yeah. Of course, you were walking a planetary weapon as Mr. Pacifist. So that's kind of interesting.
This is why I don't know how to save humanity.
That's
They're
right.
so
That's right. You're bad at it. That's right. Yeah, that's right. Listen, she's a danger. She's a danger. Yeah, you're the one who just, reacted a little bit. Yeah, exactly. Okay.
He's clearly not responsible to handle this power, said him from his mecha.
That's
like,
right. Yeah, exactly.
His
Exactly.
mecha
Yeah.
constructed with the corpses of his people. Like,
That's right. Fabulous. Guys, this was
yeah,
wonderful. Thank you very much.
yeah, it was really
I
good.
think we're starting to find a way. It's time for me to start working this into a true rules summary, like a
Mhm.
playtest summary. Use these rules and then see what happens if some other humans